رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد بن عبد الله.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الأرجاس وطهرهم من الأدناس وجعل مودتهم أجرا على الناس، ولا سيما على بقية الله في الأرضين الإمام المنتظر صاحب الزمان عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف ابن هداة المهديين، وعلى صحبه الأخيار المنتجبين، وعلى جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين والشهداء والمجاهدين في سبيل الله منذ آدم إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، روي عن النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أنه قال: تحفة المؤمن الموت. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
When you have a caliber of people, when you have a level and a station of people like the personalities that we just heard about, like the personalities of Sayyidah Zainab Salamullahi alayha, like the personality of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, for personalities like this, death was not a worrying concept. Death was not something that would trouble them in their minds. Should it be troubling for us or not? What is death? Death, what is it? Actually, when was the last time we spoke about death? Within your university sphere, or within the family context, or in work colleagues or friends? When was the last time I remember myself sitting and talking about death? The dinner table at home as a family, we talk about many, many things. When was the last time I remember myself speaking or conversing and having a discussion about death? Despite the fact that out of all of the concepts and principles in life, it is the only one that I am certain about. There's nothing else I am certain about. Tomorrow maybe this will happen, maybe I'll go here, maybe this will, I don't know. Allah knows. Death I am certain about. But the only thing in life that I'm 100% sure about will come and is unavoidable and inescapable. When was the last time I spoke about that? I don't remember. And when I say speaking about death, it doesn't mean that the person passed away. That's not speaking about death. That's speaking about someone. When was the last time I spoke about death? I don't want to speak about it. I don't want to remember it. I want to keep it with my family. Muslim friends, non-Muslim friends. Shia colleagues, non-Shia colleagues. Whoever it may be, I don't want this thing to come up. And nobody speaks about it. Nobody wants to speak about it. Why? What is it about this? Actually, as we said, it is the only inescapable certainty. Yet I want to keep it far from myself, as our master, our first holy Imam, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Ali alayhi salam, has mentioned in his hadith talking about us. Antum turada'ul maut. You are trying to drive death away, trying to repel death, as if it's not going to come. But it's going to come. Antum turada'ul maut. You are trying to drive it away. In aqamtum lahu akhadakum. If you stay where you are and wait for it, it's going to come and take you. وَإِن فَرَرْتُم مِّنْهُ لَأَدْرَكَكُمْ. And if you try to run from it, it's going to catch you, which means you can't escape. If you stay where you are, it'll take you. If you try to run, it'll catch up with you and it'll take you. وَهُوَ أَلْزَمُ لَكُمْ مِنْ ظِلِّكُمْ. And it is more joined to you, it is more attached to you than your own shadow. Imagine trying to run away from your shadow. No matter where you run, your shadow is... Death is more attached to you, Imam alayhi salam says, than your own shadow. So the closest thing to me, the most inescapable thing, the only thing which I'm certain about as far as my life is the only thing I don't want to speak about. I don't want to know about. I don't want to discuss because I'm fearful of it. Although it's going to happen to everyone. Sometimes it happens to people sooner, sometimes later. Sometimes people like me are to blame for it happening sooner. There was a man who was very ill, very sick in hospital. And the doctors told his family, you better all gather around because he's going to pass away. So the family, the Muslim family, they called the Mawlana. Mawlana, please come next to his body, recite something for him. He's hardly able to speak. Or, Mawlana came near the bed. And the person's health and situation became worse. So Mawlana went closer to him. And he became even worse in health. Then this person was trying to speak to Mawlana, tell him something. His last words maybe. So Mawlana went closer. As he leaned closer, the person's health became even worse. So he leaned even closer, even bad, until he was gesturing, give me a pen and paper so I can write. He couldn't speak anymore. So the person, they brought him pen and paper, quickly wrote something, and he handed it to the Mawlana. And suddenly he passed away. All the doctors came in, quickly all the alarms went off in the hospital. Mawlana said, this is his last words. I can't look at it now, keep it in mind. The next day was his janaza, was his funeral. Again the Mawlana was there. So Mawlana had to say some words about him. Say this was a very good man, he was very generous to the people, now we're carrying his coffin. Just then the Mawlana remembered his last words that the man ever wrote were in my pocket. He brought them out. So this is the last words. Mawlana began to read. The words were written. Mawlana, you're standing on my oxygen tube. The Mawlana couldn't get away. It was the Mawlana's fault, he went early. Sometimes people like us are to blame for people going, but death is coming to everyone, late or early. But for people who are at that caliber where they do not mind, they do not care about death, like Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam, it wasn't as if he didn't care about death. There's people who don't care. And there's people like him who said, alayhi salam, said, La murihata al-maut. Not only death is okay, comes up, no. Even a step further. There is no comforter like death. But why am I fearful of it? You see, in our cultures and in our societies, maybe we have an overabundance of making people fear death. Or whenever someone speaks about death, or we have a lecture about death, it's about, remember death is going to come, and the sakarat al-maut you have, and then the scorpions come, and you be careful, it could come any time, and you make sure death is in front of your eyes, and when you enter the grave, there's punishment, the grave squeezes you, and then akhirah, and it's terrible. Maybe we have looked at death in the wrong way. Or we've had an unbalanced view about death. That the AhlulBait alayhimus salam didn't really teach us about death in this way. So inshallah, in the next few minutes that we have together, I hope to redress that balance. Because the balance is tipped in the wrong way. That we don't want to speak about death even. If we realize what death was, we wouldn't stop speaking about death. That's the only thing we will want to speak about. So let's tip the balance. What is death actually? Death is just that bridge. It's not an ending of anything. It's just that bridge which transforms us from dunya to akhirah. From a limited life to an everlasting life. From a limited context to a wider, more vast context. That's death. That's what's waiting for us in the akhirah is something bigger, better, more enhanced. When I say more enhanced, I don't mean the American style of more enhanced. More enhanced, American style, when you say more enhanced, what do you think of enhanced interrogation means torture? No. Enhanced is a better thing. In our context, life is better. It's more enhanced. What does it mean? We have in Surah Al-Ankabut that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about death. And about going to the akhirah. وَإِنَّ He describes dunya. Then وَإِنَّ دَارَ الْآخِرَةَ لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانِ. What does that mean? Indeed, the abode of the hereafter is al-hayawan means what? Life. Real life. When I think about death as destruction, Allah says no. That passage into akhirah is life. Real life. That He's telling us you don't know what real life is until you come here. You don't know what life's about until you experience this. إِنَّ دَارَ الْآخِرَةَ لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانِ. The Afterlife, that is true life. What does that mean? That means what you're living now, no matter how pleasurable it is, no matter how fulfilling I think it is, it's nothing. Real life is there. Imagine a youth, a youngster, playing video games and racing cars on the video game. You come into the room, you tell him, what are you doing? He says, I'm racing cars. Okay, here's the keys. To what? To a Ferrari is parked outside. Come. So no, I'm playing on the video game. Yeah, you're playing video game, but here's the real Ferrari outside here. You can take it. Here's the keys. So no, I'm busy playing the video game. You're playing here, but the real thing is outside. Come. He doesn't want to come. No, I'm playing the video game. What would you think about such a person? Foolish. The real thing is waiting for him outside. He can really drive the Ferrari, but no, he's happy to be in front of the screen doing it virtually. Such a person is foolish. But I am the same. Because I'm happy here. I'm eating, I'm mating, I'm sleeping, I'm drinking, I'm enjoying this life. Allah says, no matter how much you think this life is fulfilling, وَإِنَّ دَارَ الْآخِرَةَ لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانِ. If you think this is good, it's like a video game. Come on, he's giving the keys to the Ferrari, come and drive the real thing. I'm saying, no, I like it here. But in comparison, the real life is over there. And if we look at the words of that pinnacle of mankind, that epitome of all of humanity, the greatest being who ever stepped on this earth, our Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. How does he describe death? That death that I think of as fearful, finishing, dying, end, conclusion, termination. How does he tell us about this death? That the death is like what? It is like nothing but إِلَّا مِثْلَ خُرُوجِ الصَّبِيِّ مِنْ بَطْنِ أُمِّهِ. What does that mean? Like the coming out of a child from the womb of its mother. What is that process called? Birth. I think of as death. The Prophet is saying it's like birth. Death, which I am fearful about, the Prophet is saying it's like birth, like coming out of the womb of the mother. مِنْ ذَلِكَ الْغَمِّ وَالظُّلْمَ إِلَىٰ رَوْحِ الدُّنْيَا. How that child comes out of the dark, constricted, gloomy womb until the bright, fresh, wonderful world, and he sees lights and hears sounds, and this is life. Now he thinks this is, or she thinks, the baby thinks this is life. The Prophet says, death is like this. I'm fearful about it, but death is like this. I'm fearful. That's the real life. It's like birth. It's not death. And if only I knew I was created for that, not for this. My existence is for that, not for this. As our master Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam said to his son alayhi salam, "I'lam ya bunayya." He's talking to his son, "Oh my son Hassan alayhi salam, listen and know, i'lam ya bunayya innama khuliqta lil akhirah la lid dunya." You have been created for a purpose, for somewhere, not to stay here, for the akhirah. Walil mawti la lil hayat. You were created for death. That death that I think is the end of everything I'm so fearful about, that was my life's purpose actually, to meet that time. إِنَّمَا خُلِقَ لِلْمَوْتِ لَا لِلْحَيَاةِ. You were created, that thing I don't want to speak about, I don't want to know about, the only thing I'm certain about, yet I still want to keep it far, that was the thing I was created for. So we said, the reason I don't want to speak about it, I don't want to know about it, I want to keep it far away, is because I'm afraid of it, because everything I've been told, death I synonymize with punishment. Death, I'm going to die, and grave, squeezing, scorpions, snakes, munkar and nakira, holding iron bars, man rabbuk, if I go in the pain, and everything of punishment and torture. When I see death and hear death, one of these images come into my mind. As a believer, as a mu'min, as a Muslim, as one who has brought faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without seeing Him, as one who has brought faith in the Risala of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam without seeing Him, without hearing His words directly. The one who has brought faith in 14 ma'sumin alayhim salam without seeing or knowing any of them. The one who has brought faith in the existence of our 12th Imam Ajallahu Ta'ala Farajah, who is in ghaibah without seeing him. Do you believe in Allah? You don't believe in Allah. Yes, I Prophet or not? Yes. Imams? Yes. Ghaibah? Yes. So you are someone. You are not useless. Without seeing all of these things, you brought faith. Oh Allah, I brought faith in all of these things without knowing, without seeing. But I brought faith and I became certain in your oneness, in your tawheed, in your adala, in the nabuwah that you gave the Prophet, in the imamah of the 40. I know that ma'ad will come and I believe in all of this. Yet when I think about death, I think, oh, Allah's going to punish me. Allah's going to torture me. Why? Is this not the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who loves me more than my mother loves me? Is this not the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who loves me more than I love myself? Is this not the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the love my mother has for me? Who created that love? He created that love. So that love that my mother has for me, that wouldn't bear to see me tortured and punished, that love that she has for me is one thin ray from the eternal sunshine of the love of Allah. But I'm terrified of His punishment. But I'm not scared of my mother. His love is the love that created my mother's love for me. But I'm not afraid of my mother. I'm terrified of Allah, terrified of death. Despite the fact I believe in everything, still I'm terrified. How should death be for the one who is the Shia of Ali, who calls himself that, who comes and commemorates, who comes and cries, who believes in the 12 Imams alayhim salam? How is death for them? Forget what my position is. Oh, alhamdulillah. So we go through all the great positions that we all have. Muwahideen, Muslimin, Mu'mineen, Mutamassikin bi wilayat Ali alayhi salam. All of these things, forget that. Don't look at who you are and who I am. We are nothing. Look at who Allah is. That merciful one, I think He would do this to me. Scorpions and snakes and squashing of the grave and so we have lectures about this and majalis about this and be careful of the grave and the barzakh is going to be terrible, and they have books and books about manazilul akhirah and how this terrible creature comes and chews up the person who has done this and spits them out, and this punishment. This is my Allah? I don't believe in that Allah. I don't hold that Allah. That Allah who created every love that you have in this universe. Brother has for brother, mother has for son, husband has for wife, grandchild has for grandparent. All the love that Allah created that love. Allah created that love. Absolutely. When I think about Him and there's punishment. No. How is it that our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam describes the death of the one who is a mu'min? We said you are mu'min. Allah you believe, Prophet you believe, Imams you believe, Ma'ad you believe, you are mu'min. How did the Prophet describe the death of a mu'min? As he says, فَقَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَسَلَّمَ إِنَّ الْعَبْدَ الْمُؤْمِنِ. Indeed the believing slave, that's me and you. Me and you, we agreed, we are mu'min. For that person, إِذَا كَانَ فِي انْقِطَاعٍ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا وَإِقْبَالٍ مِنَ الْآخِرَةِ. When he reaches that point where he's going to be cut off from this world and going into the next world, that's the time of death. What happens? Does he get punished and then stoned and then ripped apart? No. نَزَلَ إِلَيْهِ مَلَائِكَةٌ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ. Angels, that's me and you. So let's not think it's all about someone there in Iraq, in Iran, holy people. No. Mu'min, me and you. Angels descend on that person from the sky. بَيْضُ الْوُجُوهِ وَكَأَنَّ وُجُوهَهُمْ الشَّمْسِ. Their face is bright, luminous like the sun. Handsome faces, they come down onto this person. وَمَعَهُمْ كَفَنٌ مِنْ أَكْفَانِ الْجَنَّةِ. Bringing that funeral shroud from the Paradise is for this person. Then they all sit around him. Malaika. How many of them? حَتَّى يَجْلِسُ مِنْهُ مُدَّ الْبَصَرِ. They sit around him as far as the eye can see. He's surrounded by bright-faced angels. So imagine, now I'm dying. Now that mu'min is dying. Angels come down from the sky with a kafan from Jannah. Bright faces. They sit around him until as far as the eye can see, or he only sees handsome angels. Then, ثُمَّ يَجِيءُ مَلَكُ الْمَوْتِ. Then that angel of death comes to him, حَتَّى يَجْلِسَ عِنْدَ رَأْسِهِ, and he sits at the person's head. He already has angels all around him, bright faces, bringing him good things. He's happy now. Then angel of death comes and sits by his head. فَيَقُولُ, an angel of death says to him, أَيَّتُهَا النَّفْسُ الطَّيِّبَةُ. This is the death of the mu'min. We agreed, you and you and you and you and you, all of us here are mu'mineen. This is me and you being spoken about. أَيَّتُهَا النَّفْسُ الطَّيِّبَةُ أَخْرِجِي إِلَى مَغْفِرَةِ اللَّهِ وَرِضْوَانِ. Oh goodly soul, now come out to the forgiveness of Allah and the pleasure of Allah. Come. فَتَخْرُجْ. Then that nafs comes out. Your death, my death, your death, the one I don't want to speak about, the one I want to be far away. This is how it's going to be. One, Amirul Mu'mineen says, لَا مُرِيحَ كَالْمَوْتِ. There is no relief and comfort like death. Two, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِنَّ الْآخِرَةَ لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانِ. Akhirah is the real life. This is not real life. No matter how fulfilling and pleasurable it is, it's fake, it's nothing. It's virtual. The real life is to come still, more fulfilling, enhanced. Three, when it's the time of death of the mu'min, angels will come around him with a kafan from Jannah, sit around him, Malakul Maut will come to him and take him out to the mercy and maghfirah and ridwan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But maybe I still think that's for you mu'mineen. Mu'min means Shia. Really in the spiritual sense, can I count myself as Shia? I'm not so strong in my faith. My salat is not the salat, not mi'raj al-mu'min. Still, maybe this is for the Shia, the mu'mineen who are, really close to. It's not for me. Maybe. In that case, what do we have from our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam?
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Maybe I'm Shia, but I'm not there who loves the AhlulBait alayhim salam the most. My faith is weak. The Holy Prophet says, إِنَّ أَشَدَّ شِيعَتِنَا لَنَا حُبًّا. Indeed, the strongest of the Shia are close to us in his love to us. So that's not me. Other ones who are closer to Allah, not me. How is his death? يكون خروج نفسه كشرب أحدكم في يوم الصيف الماء البارد الذي ينتقع به القلوب. That one who is closest to Ahlul Bayt in love, not me. If you think if you don't think not us, maybe the other ones. Their death will be like on a hot summer's day when they drink that cool water which quenches the thirst and satisfies the heart. Their death will be like that. How pleasurable is that drink of water? Okay, but not me. What about the other ones? وَإِنَّ سَائِرَهُمْ. As for the rest, now it's me. As for the أَشَدْ لَنَا حُبًّا, that's not me. That was this one. وَأَمَّا سَائِرُهُمْ, that's me now. لَيَمُوتْ, how would that, that's me. So that top rank, cream of the crop, that's not me. But down, lowest of the low, Prophet says, as for the rest of them, that all of the rest of them, that's where we come in. When they die, لَيَمُوتْ كَأَقَرَّ مَا كَانَتْ عَيْنُهُ بِمَوْتِهِ. His eyes will be the coolest, most delighted, happiest time of his life. Death. Me and you. So if you thought your marriage was a happy time, if you thought your last birthday party was happy, if you thought your anniversary was the happiest time you had, if you thought the birth of your children was the best time you had, if your children are married and when you saw them get married, you think that was the most fulfilling thing. No. When you die, yes, the best of the Shia, that's not us, we're talking about the rest of them, now that's us. When you die, it will be the most delightful and most delighted time your eyes will ever have seen. That's going to be your death. So next time you think about death, don't think about scorpions and snakes and punishments and squeezing and sakarat and the sirat, which is everyone's going to fall off and fall into hell. No. When you think about death, know that forget who you are. Know that the one who created you is more merciful, more loving, more compassionate and more affectionate than your mother is to you, than you would be to yourself. Who loves me more? I love myself more, Allah loves me more. So if my mother loves me more and I love myself more, and neither me or my mother would see myself punished in hellfire and burning and squashed and scorpions and snakes, but Allah would? No. Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam, when he describes the Akhirah and Dua Kumail we have every Thursday, he said, ask Allah, would you punish me amongst the fire, amongst the flames of the hellfire? Would you do this? Would you abandon me there? Then what is it? Ma hakada dhannu bik. We don't think of you this way. When I recite it, I lie. Because I say to Allah, I don't think of you, but I do think of Him this way. I do think of Him that way. But I still say, when I think about death, I think about scorpions and death and punishment. So I think about Allah that way. Imam says, we don't think of you that way. We don't hold that opinion of you. But why is it then, after knowing my position with Allah, after knowing Allah's position as He created me, do I still abhor, detest, repulse, hate death, which is supposed to be pleasurable, the best part of my life? Our Imam, ninth Imam, Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam, was asked about this. لما سئل عن علة كراهة الموت. He was asked for the reason people hate death. Why do people hate death, Ya Imam? Why do people hate death? What did he reply? Did he say, because there's punishments? No. Because you're going to be squeezed in the grave? No. He said, لأنهم جهلوه فكرهوه. Because they are ignorant of it. They don't know about it. That's why they are afraid of it. Had they known about it, we wouldn't be afraid of it. Had we known what death is about, we wouldn't be afraid. What would we do? لأنهم كرهوه لأنهم جهلوه فكرهوه. Because they are ignorant of it, they hate it. Then he went to ask this person who asked him the question, ما بال الصبي أو المجنون يمتنع من الدواء المنقي لبدنه. The young child or the insane person, how they refuse and prevent themselves and abstain from that medicine, that cure which is good for their bodies. وَالنَّافِعِ لِلْأَلَمِ عَنْهِ. And it's going to get rid of the pain that they have. When a small child, you have children, when a small child falls down and gets hurt or has fevers, we bring that Calpol and we try to give it. And no, I don't want Calpol, no, and they're running away and you're trying to force the Calpol. They don't know the benefits of Calpol. That's going to make them better. One, it even tastes of strawberry. It's delicious. Even we feel like having it. But the child doesn't know. And so they try to run away from it. We are the same. How Imam says is the child and the majnoon, the insane person, they don't know the benefits of the dawa, so they run away from it. Yeah, that's how the people are with death. They don't know. So he asked this person, why does this insane person, Imam al-Jawad, asked the person who's asking him the question, he asked the question, why do people hate death? Imam is asking him, what do you think about the child and the majnoon when he runs away from the dawa which is good for him? Why does he do that? The man replied, لِجَهْلِهِمْ بِنَفْعِ الدَّوَى. Because they don't know the benefits of the medicine. So Imam replied, وَأَمَّا. And as for the human being, it's the same thing. They don't know the benefits of death. And had we known about it, me and you, human beings, mu'min, not mu'min, mercy of Allah. Had we known about death, how would we be? وَأَمَّا إِنَّهُمْ لَوْ عَرِفُوا. Had they only known, Imam says, مَا يُؤَدِّي إِلَيْهِ الْمَوْتُ مِنَ النِّعَمِ. Had they only been aware how many blessings death would lead to, had they only known, لَاسْتَوْدَعُوهُ وَأَحِبُّوهُ. They would not only love it, they would call for it, come, death, come to me now. I want that brightest part of my life, the most delightful part I've ever experienced. That la muriha kal maut, I want that. That inna dar al-akhirah la hiya al-hayawan, I want that. But because they are ignorant of it, they run from it. That's us. Because we are ignorant of it, we run from it. Had we known, we would love death and summon it to come forward. So we should not have this skewed, unbalanced, erroneous view about death, especially for the Muslim. No! Especially for the mu'min. The one who calls, the one who ascribes and tries to adhere to the principles of the AhlulBait alayhimus salam. Not the one who loves them the most, the rest of them, me and you. Even for us, death would be the most delightful part of that our eyes have ever been delighted. That's the most delightful part. But I don't think about death this way. Once Abu Dhar al-Ghaffari was asked about why people hate death, even if it's so beneficial for us. Why do we hate death? Abu Dhar al-Ghaffari replied, because you see, we were created for death. We were created for the hereafter, for prosperity there. Now instead of that, you have made your world prosperous and become attached to everything here, and now you don't want to leave it. Like that person, the young boy who's playing the video game, you're telling him the Ferrari's outside, come. No. Why? He's enjoying this game too much. He's too blind to see that the real Ferrari's outside. That's me and you. I'm enjoying it here so much. Wealth, house, spouse, children, comfort, everything. I enjoy it so much when Allah tells me, yeah, no matter how much you enjoy it, the real life is over there, even better. No, I'm blind to that. I love it here. I don't want to leave this. And so death becomes difficult to separate. Imagine, if you will, 2 lumps of dough. Play-doh, or dough that you make bread with, 2 lumps of dough. Let's say Play-Doh, for example, the kids play with. One is yellow in color, and one is red in color. Play-Doh. You know, it's Play-Doh, so it's a bit sticky slightly. Now you put it next to each other, so it's sticking, 2 lumps of dough. Now I ask you, can you separate these 2 lumps of dough from me? You say, yeah, easily. Finished. Now I bring those 2 lumps of dough, and I squash them into one another, and I mix it all up, and you can't tell yellow from red and red from yellow. It's all as if it's one. Can you separate the yellow and the red from me? It's impossible. If I have to, it's very meticulous and very painful and very tedious to do this now. We are the same with the dunya. In the world, if I live in the world, I know I have to go one day, it's very easy. I go. But if I make my life here, and I'm comfortable here, now I don't want to leave this. It's as if I am the dunya, and the dunya is me, and we're all lumped together. Now Malakul Maut has to try and separate these 2 out. Now it's going to be painful. But for the mu'min, death should not be as such. So as we wind up, just to quickly recap the points we've covered. 1. Death is inescapable, and in fact it's the only certainty I have, yet I'm running away from it, never want to speak about it, never want to discuss it. 2. Death for the believer is the most pleasurable and most pleasant experience that he will ever undergo, or she. Number 3. Death is the introduction to Allah's mercy and Allah's pleasure. Like the Holy Prophet said, like coming out of the dark womb of the mother, a constricted place, into the freedom and light of the dunya. When the child is born, death is like this. Number 4, why do I hate it? Because I am ignorant of it. If I knew what death really was, la hibbuhu, then they would love it, they would summon it, they would call it. Number 5, perhaps sometimes the life I've built up here, and my comforts here, and my attachment to those comforts, is blinding me from the fact that Darul Akhir Lahi al Hayawan. That's the true and more fulfilling life. And once we realize that about death, the real picture of death, we understand the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, that is the hadith we began this discussion with, as he sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam says, Tuhfatul mu'min al-maut. Tuhfatul mu'min is what? Is the tuhfa can be that thing which I adorn myself with, I beautify myself with. Makeup or jewelry. For a mu'min, death is that. Or tuhfa can mean masterpiece. All my life's accomplishments, oh, finally after everything I got PhD. Or finally all of this I became this qualification. Or Michelangelo, after all his life's work, he painted the Sistine Chapel ceiling. Wonderful masterpiece. For the mu'min, his masterpiece is death. He has mastered that. For us, death should be like this. And so when we look at the occasions of today, we see the personalities who for death something was very easy. Death was not something heavy or burdensome or troublesome for them, no. But unfortunately, after Karbala, the survivors had to endure a fate worse than death. For the heroes and the fighters of Karbala, they were now in eternal bliss and in heaven, and accepted and received by the Holy Prophet. But for those who survived, their tragedy of Karbala was just beginning now. This was the start of the difficult time for them. Despite everyone being massacred and killed and martyred, now was the more difficult time for them. That hell and that suffering was just starting now for Zainab salamullahi alayha, for Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam, because it was now that the Fatimiyat were going to be paraded, chained from their necks, from their hands, on the camels, past the Shuhada, then from Karbala to Kufa, paraded. People mocking them, spitting, throwing. From Kufa to Sham, Sham, the marketplace of Sham. Sham. What was Sham? That Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam, after the whole episode, his father was killed and his head was on a spear. His youngest brother, Abdullah, was hit with an arrow in his neck. His brother, Ali al-Akbar, was hit in the chest, killed. Abbas alayhi salam, his hands were severed and he was killed. The children were thirsty. The women, everything, all of these tragedies happened on the day of Ashura. Despite this, Imam is asked, what was the worst part of this tragic episode? He didn't say Karbala. He didn't say Kufa. Ash-Sham. Ash-Sham. In Sham it was where the women were held outside, as these are daughters of the Prophet, held outside the court of Yazid for hours in the burning sun. When they enter the burning sun and they enter the court of Yazid, they see a princess is on her throne. She is coming to inspect who are the prisoners of war who have come. Zainab salamullahi alayha turns to her sister Kulthum and asks her, Ya Ukhayya, ata'arafina hadhihi al-jariya? Do you know who this woman is, this princess who is coming to inspect? Do you know who she is? Kulthum replies, I don't know who she is. They all have their heads bowed. Zainab says, this is Hind. كانت خادمتنا في المدينة. In our household, she was our maid in Medina. This is her as the princess of the Muslim Empire, inspecting the prisoners of war. She asks Zainab alayha salam, where have you people come from? Zainab replies with her head down, from Medina. This Hind rushes down to the feet of Zainab and sits there. Zainab salamullahi alayha asks her, why are you doing this? You are the princess, Hind. Why are you coming down and sitting like this in such a humble fashion? Hind says, Ijlalan li ahli al-Madina. Out of respect and reverence for the people who have come from Medina. Zainab salamullahi alayha asks her, why? What do you know about Medina? She says, I used to live in Medina, and lady, I want to ask you, since you have come from Medina, I want to ask you some news about a household in Medina. She said, Sali ma badalaki. Asks whatever you want to ask. Hind asks her, "Oh lady, tell me about the house of Ali. I want to know, how are they? Tell me about my master Hussein and my master Hassan. Are they well? Tell me about the one who used to be like my brother Abbas. And most of all, tell me about my mistress, my lady who was so kind to me. Her name was Zainab. Tell me how she is." Zainab lifts her head and says, "Here, if you are asking about the house of Ali, the house of Ali is beheaded in Karbala. If you're asking about Abbas, his arms were cut in Karbala and he died on the river. And if you're asking about your master Hussein, then know that he's the head of Hussein of the spear. If you're asking about your lady Zainab, no, she is standing as a prisoner, chained in front of you. Hind, this is the house of Ali. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون صلوات على محمد وآل محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أحسنت رحم الله وطيب الله أنفاسك.
Very much.